Hello everyone, this is the Compachi 87 and welcome to this video just talking about the state of play that PlayStation put on a week or so ago. I just wanted to have a quick chat about what was announced and what I enjoyed and what I didn't like. Oh, the first thing they showed off was a Monster Hunter Wilds trailer. Now that game comes out on February 26th, or 28th, I meant. 28th. I get a bit fumbled over my words here. But the notable thing about that trailer was that they showed off Mitsusune. What is it? Mitsusune. A fish-hooking type thing that I think was a Monster Hunter in Rise, but will be added to Wilds in the first title update. Anyway, it looks really cool and it looks really fun to play against. Anyway, another thing they showed off was a new Shinobi game, believe it or not. A Shinobi Art of Vengeance is going to come out on August 29th, and it's a 2D hack and slash, so think of like a Double Dragon type thing, or it's actually from the developers of Streets of Rage, actually. Streets of Rage 4, which came out not too long ago. That game also looks really fun. Again, it's coming on August 29th. They also... Another game they showed was Sonic Racing, Crossroads. I've never been into the Crash Team Racing series or that type of thing. I was into it years ago when I was younger, but I haven't really been into it in a while. Anyway, the closed network test for that is coming on the 21st of February. There was also a new Digimon game announced. And I haven't been into Digimon ever since I was in elementary school, for God's sake. Anyway, that's coming out at an unknown time. It's slated for release in 2025 at some point. But it's not announced. A release date, that release date isn't announced yet. But then they showed off Lost Soul Aside, which is looking to be a really good action game. There've been quite a few trailers for this in the past couple of months, and they all look really good, and we finally have a release date of May 30th. it was also announced that there would be a demo of Yakuza Like a Dragon Hawaii, the one that's in Hawaii, the one where Majima plays as a pirate. They announced a demo for that. The demo's coming out on the 13th, actually, not too long from now. Actually, it should already be out by now. This is being recorded on the 14th. And the actual date for the game itself is the 21st. And they also announced a crossover with Dave the Diver, of all things. I have never played that, and I don't know what it is. And that is coming out in April 2025. And then they also announced an alpha for Splitgate 2, a new like sci-fi first-person shooter with. It's kind of like Halo meets Portal almost. Anyway, the alpha for that is February 27th. Anyway, they announced new stuff. They also announced new stuff about 2K, WWE 2K25. But I'm not that big of a wrestling fan. I used to be years ago, but I'm not these days. I prefer the UFC. I prefer actual fighting. And that's going to be out on March 14th, 2025. Then there was new information, a new trailer for Borderlands 4, which is still to be determined 2025. I'm not that big into the Borderlands series. I never was. I played like Borderlands 1 or 2 for like 2 hours, and I realized that this game isn't for me, so. And so that's not very interesting me. And then I'm sure Border fans are. Back to what I was saying about Borderlands for a second. I'm sure Borderlands fans will like it though, but it's just not for me. And then there was. And then there was a release date for Split Fiction, which is Joseph Fares' new game. So it's a co-op game, kind of like A Way Out, It Takes Two, those type of games. That's coming on March 6th, 2025. And then they also announced Supermassive's new game, which had a new trailer. That's Directive 8020, which is coming on October 2nd. It looks just scary as hell. I probably won't be playing it. I enjoy horror games, but they need to give me a weapon. If they don't give you a weapon in these type of games, I don't play them. Like Outlast, like running and hiding, like Outlast, those type games. That is not my cup of tea. Anyway, then they continued with the horror stuff because they announced a new Five Nights at Freddy's game. Wonderful. Where They were cute, cuddly animatronic things that you'd find very similar to Tickle Me Elmo try to kill you. And that game is launching on June 13th, 2025. Then they showed off the Midnight Walk, which is a weird game where you play as a clay thing. I don't know. It's coming out on May 8th, 2025. Anyway, after that, they showed off a game called Darwin's Paradox, where you play as an octopus of all things. It looks really fucking weird. It's set to launch sometime in 2025. Then it got really good. They showed off 2 games. Warriors Abyss by Omega Force, the guys that made that make the Dynasty and Samurai Warriors series. But this game is a roguelite. It is like Hades or something. It looks good. I have yet to try it. It's out now. And then they announced the release date for Onimusha 2. Was shown off. And that's coming out May 23rd, 2025. The new Onimusha game, though, is still slated for 2026. Onimusha Way of the Sword, but the remake of the second one is coming out May 23rd. I cannot wait to try that. And we finally, in other news, we finally got a release date for Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, the remake of MGS3. That's coming on August 28th, 2025. But they had this weird Super Monkey Ball thing that went with it. And it made no sense. Like you had Snake and all these, a guy that controlled fire and electricity, and all these bosses. But then you had this Super Monkey Ball thing that just shows up out of nowhere. I don't know what that was about. Then they showed off Hell Is Us. Hell Is Us it was announced a while ago, but it looks like this horror cross between a Souls-like game or something. Looks pretty interesting. I'll give it a try. That's coming out on September the 4th, 2025. They announced DLC for Lies of P, which is coming this summer. I have yet to conquer Lies of P, so I just never get around to playing that game, even though I heard it was amazingly, just really freaking good. The next game they showed was Dreams of Another, which is this weird game where you're using guns to actually remake the world or something. Like your machine gun actually reconstructs a building or something. It was odd, I'll say that. It was really fucking odd. Excuse me, chat. I got a drink of water and it all went down the wrong way. End up choking on my water canteen of all things. Then they After that was a remaster of Days Gone, which I never played Days Gone, but this remaster is gonna have like a new horde mode and a bunch of new stuff. That's coming out on April 25th, 2025. Then they announced a new DLC for Stellar Blade, which I played the demo for Stellar Blade. And it really didn't like impress me. The combat was too slow. It wasn't as slow as like a Dark Souls, but it wasn't as fast as like a Ninja Gaiden or a Bayonetta, which is how I like my action games. Anyway, the DLC is launching in June of this year, 2025. After that, they announced Lost Records Bloom and Rage. It's a game from the same. It's a story-driven game, same developer, from the same developer as Life is Strange 2. So I had never really been into these games. They're story-focused, slow-paced, not much action to them, I don't think. Really choice-driven, live with your consequences, that sort of thing. Yeah, not really my cup of tea. Anyway, for those who are interested, the game is launching on the 18th of February. And then they showed off a game called Blue Palace, which... Blueprints. I'm misreading my notes here, to be honest. On blueprints, as in architectural blueprints, because that's what the game is. It's like you're building a house, architecturally building a home with randomly generated rooms and stuff. It's really odd. It's like weird kind of house flipper type thing, seems like. Anyway, that's coming in 2025 in the summer. And they also announced Abiotic Factor, which is like a sci-fi FPS looking like a kind of like a Unreal Tournament looking Quake type thing. That's launching in, but it got like the fast pace of Doom almost. Now it's nowhere near as gory as Doom, but it's like an Unreal Tournament Quake type thing. Anyway, that's launching this summer for 2025. And after that, they announced a game called Tides of Annihilation, which looks to be really good. It looks like a almost like a Bayonetta type thing. It's a hack and slash. It's really looking good. But the only thing they announced about it, they didn't even announce the release date. But after they announced it, there was an extended gameplay demo. Or gameplay showcase. I think you can find it on like IGN or something. It's on YouTube somewhere. Anyway, then after that they announced Metal Eden, which is which is coming out May 6th of this year. And that looks like another really fast, like FPS type thing. Everyone's trying to capture the old Quake and Unreal Tournament vibes. And then they showed a game called Mind's Eye, which is set to launch in summer 2025, but it's a sci-fi open world game. It looks like a sci-fi GTA, and that's not surprising because I found out after doing some research that this game, one of the guys on it is one of the devs is a ex-Rockstar dev. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And the last game they announced for the showcase was a game called Ceros, which, like from the little teaser trailer they showed, looks really, really interesting. But it's long ways off. 2026 launch date. We won't be seeing this thing for a while. So Ceros is a long ways out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown and just opinion video on the 2025 or the February 2025 State of Play. This has been the Kompachi 87. Have a nice day.